Today we're going to be making vanilla sponge cake. This is a really tasty recipe. And as all of us know that in sponge cakes we usually use a lot of eggs to keep it soft. But if you do it this way, the taste of those eggs won't be there at all. Because we're slightly cooking the batter, especially the milk, butter and the yolk of the eggs, we're going to cook them. So what it does is that it just depletes the amount of flavor of the eggs and will give you a really tasty plus spongy sponge cake. One more thing to say is that if you want to see the same video in Malayalam, I'll put a link to that video in the description down below. So let's get started. First, we have to separate the egg yolks and whites. For that I have 2 bowls. I've also took 4 eggs. Next, start cracking the egg. Put the egg white into one bowl and the yolk into the other. Continue doing this with all the 4 eggs. So now that all the 4 of them are separated, let's set these bowls aside. Next, I have a saucepan and into it, I'm going to add 1/4 cup of butter. Put all of that in. Also pour in 1/2 cup of milk. Then you have to take this mixture over to the stove and melt the butter with the milk and make sure you don't boil the mixture at all. So right now the butter has melted. It's incorporated into the milk. It's just slightly hot. Do not boil it at all. Then add 1/4 cup of sugar and add the eggs that we kept earlier, the egg yolks. Stir that in slowly and make sure you continuously stir it because the mixture is slightly hot. There's a chance for the eggs to cook. So keep stirring it. Now that's done. It started bubbling nicely. At this point, into it I'm going to add 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour. Add little by little of it and keep mixing. Incorporate all the flour in. And now that's done. Keep mixing until you have this nice and smooth mixture. Also add 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now you have a smooth mixture. Let's set it aside. Next I have a bowl, a large mixing bowl. Into it we have to add 4 egg whites and start beating it until it's foamy. Once it's foamy, you have to add 1/2 cup of sugar into it. Gradually add in between, make sure you beat it. Gradually add the sugar, and now I've added all the sugar. You have to beat it until it comes into a form of stiff peaks. Just keep beating. Now the consistency has slightly changed. It's a bit more thicker, but it's still kind of watery, so you have to keep beating until you get stiff peaks. Now it's been around 8 minutes and you can see there are stiff peaks. So let's set this hand mixer aside. Then slowly scrape down the sides. And pour the egg yolk and flour mixture. Pour all of it in, and then you have to slowly start folding that in to the beaten egg whites. Make sure you also add a teaspoon of vanilla extract. I'm sorry because I didn't get the clip of it. So now the batter is mixed in well.
you'll get a ribbony form of batter, very watery kind of batter. And the batter is ready. Let's set it aside. Next, I have the baking pan that I want to bake my cake in. I've greased it with oil. I've also kept a parchment paper on the bottom. So let's pour the cake batter into it. Just flatten on the top. Tap it a few times. Then let's pop this in a preheated oven for baking. Now my cake is baked. It's already removed out from the sides. So let's remove off the tin. Bottom part also. The parchment paper has already come out. So flip that over back again. You can already see it's a really soft and spongy cake. You just touch it, it's so good. I'm also going to sprinkle some powdered sugar on top of the cake. Now our sponge cake is ready. Let's cut into this cake. Let me show you how it looks. It's really soft. It's just so easy to cut. So let me take a piece and show you. You can see it's perfectly baked. It's really spongy. Let's keep that onto a plate. So this is how it looks. You can see the tall portion of the cake. It's perfectly baked. On the top with that powdered sugar, it's going to be really good. When I just press it down, it's really soft. It just goes down and comes back up again just like a sponge. See the down part. And totally, this cake is just awesome.
Thank you so much for watching. Hope you liked it, and if you did, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up down below. Also subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. Thanks once again, and bye bye.